some really nice prizes today. We've got swag from Downriver. We've got swag from Grand Rapids. We got some t-shirts and hats from everybody at the tournament for our prizes. And raffle tickets are 1 for $1 or 6 for $5. All proceeds first benefit. It's a breasting charity. And the next drawing will be in just 5 minutes.
So 5 minutes, get on over there. The breast charity is really cool. If you are a breast cancer survivor, I don't know if they have any left, but they are giving out scars for breast cancer survivors. The donations are there. We are about ready to begin day 3, game 2, bout number 334.
Sounds about right to me, Juicy.
Well, this game is on, and welcome everybody. We've got Chemical City going up against Irish Hill Bombshells.
And as we're introducing ourselves, that's Juris Nocturne going to the box immediately. That's Chemical City's most prolific jammer. I've seen Juris Nocturne a lot. She carried that team into this 5th place game.
Yeah, so Irish Hills right now out there with a power jam benefiting them. 2 more blockers from Chemical City headed to the penalty box. So it's a very, very short pack out there for Chemical City.
That's right. First jam of this bout, first game for both of these teams. Getting settled in. Might take a little bit longer for Chemical City. Irish Hills looking clean so far, able to break through the pack, and 4 points go up in the air for Irish Hills, take a 4-0 lead. Multiplayer block going up to Irish Hills, 85 ashes, 2 bashes.
Chemical City's Vex Machine playing some nice offense to get their jammer free, and top of the apex down here in front of us, knocking out that jammer and forcing that call off. That was a very active first jam for both of these teams, quite honestly.
Yeah. 7-0 in favor of Irish Hills as we are done with that first jam. Hey, let's introduce ourselves. We had a moment there just at the beginning where we were trying to get settled in. Didn't know when we were going to welcome ourselves. So I'm Large Margin. How's it going?
I'm the King. It's going great. And by the way, Large Margin, you have one of the best derby names. You know,
I appreciate that a lot.
As long as you don't look at me and your face freaks out, I'm going to be happy.
I can't promise anything. I don't know how my face looks all the time. I did say it on the stream already. I do have one of those neuroatypical brains, so my face doesn't do what I want it to all the time, but I don't believe it'll be as scary as it was as Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I can't promise anything. So we're in a little bit of an official timeout. I don't know what they're setting up right now.
Well, it looks like there was a late penalty assessed, and that's going to put one of Chemical City's blockers in the penalty box. So it's going to be a 3-on-3 pack. They're just kind of cleaning up the odds and ends out there to make sure all the penalties were assessed correctly.
Gotcha.
Should be underway in just a second.
It's been an exciting weekend of Derby, hasn't it?
Oh, my gosh. So many good games. And as the weekend always progresses, you know, the first day you'll see a lot of those lopsided games, but we've seen some really, really tight games. Matter of fact, there was a game yesterday that was won in the very last seconds of the game by 1 point.
You love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, that happens a lot here. In fact, 2019 was a nail biter on both ends. Both tracks had nail biters at the same time. Very exciting. So swiveling your head trying to catch both games at the same time.
Yep.
Very exciting tournament.
All right, this next jam is on, and very quickly, Irish gets out their jammer. Thayer the Slayer is your lead jammer.
Chemical City 7-2-7. Christy Yamaguchi also through the back, half a track away.
Offense coming from the inside. Oh, Thayer the Slayer tried to go up that inside line. Did get dumped in that straightaway.
Adam Smasher, a very, very apropos name for Chemical City, able to get her out on the inside.
4 points being picked up. So right now, Irish Hills, they are up to 11, still 0 for Chemical.
Carrying the momentum and the call-offs in this one so far.
This will be, by the way, a 20-minute half in these later games. We're trying to stay on schedule, so they've cut them down to a 20-minute half to get them their time in.
And it's people who have been watching Mitten Kittens first time on stream, but this is a very common circumstance for Division II. Division II is generally 20-minute games.
Reckless Abandon is out as your lead jammer for Chemical City. Wow, big hits down there. Hellcat rocking blockers along.
And Hot Mess Express for Irish Hills doing the same.
Nice tap out, and that was Farrell Darrell knocking the jammer out, and that's going to force that call off, but not before a couple points be put up on the board. Although 1 point was scored for Chemical City, so they have finally gotten out of the 0 margin.
Absolutely, they are in it, just 10 points behind with 3 jams in us.
Anytime you want to join us on the mic, come on over.
This next jam is underway. Very tight walls. Everybody's out there. Penalty box is empty.
I was just going to remark the same.
We are doing 20-minute halves here. I wonder if that makes us a 5-minute
Tight
half.
4 wall at the pivot line for Chemical City, holding that jammer in.
We are seeing exactly the same things, exactly where my brain was going, but the wall tightens up right on the apex for both. A lot of confusion in that pack.
Yeah, Monsoon right now gets knocked out of bounds in the straightaway. And that is Madame Melee Curie getting out as the lead jammer for Chemical City.
Chemical City taking their first lead jam in this one. I'm sorry, second one twice now, 2 in a row. So they traded lead jams 2 in a row.
Oh, there, Madame Melee Curie jumping inside to out in that straightaway, picking up all 4 of those points, avoiding all of those blockers with a nice move.
Whammy trying to get that body, does not have the angle.
Very slow wall. Everybody is moving along, and Madame Melee Curie getting knocked out of bounds on the outside.
Yeah, that's Whammy giving her the business this time around.
We did have a star pass at the end of that. Velma ended up with a star in their hands, and they are headed to the bench after the jam is called off.
Velma, not a stranger to the star, one of those long-time veterans, one of jammers for Irish Hills for a very long time, taking pivot more often these days.
Again, 5-on-5 derby being played. They're sizing each other up at the jam line, trying to figure out which way they want to go and try to avoid the other.
It's a tragedy of a tournament this large is you don't get to see all these teams, so I haven't seen them line up all that much, but we've had a lot of pivot line starts on Division 1. Juris Noctur through the pack first, breaking through on the pivot line.
Thayer the Slayer trying to insist their way up that inside line through corner number 1. They're pulling off that cap, and they're looking for a pivot.
Pivot unable to get to them before they're knocked out of bounds. Pivot making some outside moves. They are going the other way on the inside, though.
Multiplayer block. That is going to send one of Chemical City's blockers to the penalty box, giving them a short staff out there. That player is going to be happy hits.
Juris Noctur able to skate through on the inside of the straightaway, though, for 4 points. Chemical City is now in the lead with this jam, 8 points so far, and Chemical City's bench says, keep it going. Let's get it started. Let's go.
Well, Thayer the Slayer did pass off that cap. The cap was an inappropriate pass. They had to drop it. Thayer the Slayer had to pick it back up and give it back to the pivot. That was enough time to give Chemical
on that track again. Turn 1, no room for movement on any of those lanes.
No pack is called. Everybody's trying to get it back together. We are going to see a multiplayer block, I should say, on Ashes to Bashes.
We're also getting a failure to reform. I know that was an issue the last time you were watching on this track. A lot of failure to reforms between those two state teams.
There's 4 people on the side. It's
We'll
like,
see if we'll clean that up. Pack's reforming before it becomes an issue.
16-point jam for Juris Knocker.
I believe that might have been the most often I've seen that signal in a game was that last time, that failure to reform. Not one you see all that often.
Yeah.
But a lot of skaters in the box for it right now. Just a 2-wall for Irish Hills.
Irish Hills doing a good job on Christy Yamahuchi. But as I say that, in turn 1, Christy Yamahuchi gets out as your lead jammer.
Yeah. Christy Yamahuchi threw that pack pretty easily. That is where she likes to be. You very often see her as lead jam.
Adam Smasher picking up a forearm penalty. That's going to put another blocker down for Chemical City. So 2-on-2 pack out there.
Velma giving chase on Chrissy Yamahuchi, not in position, has to let her go.
Nice little bit of offense being played by Irish to get their jammer free, picking up all 4 of those points. So 4 fingers in the air by both of these jam refs. They will update this. Yeah, they will update that score. Chemical City, though, I gotta say, they were down and at a 0 for a couple jams, but they have really pushed that gas pedal down, and now we've got a score of 28-15. Chemical City is in the lead.
I think what you were seeing is it was that jitters at the beginning. They put people in the box almost immediately, the jammer and 2 blockers, that really gave Irish Hills the good start, and now we've got them settling into this one.
And just like that, out front, Monswoon is your lead jammer for Irish Hills.
Chasing just a third of a track away is, I believe, number 8, Reckless Abandon. It is, in fact.
Reckless Abandon on their first day here at the Mittenkitten. Had a great game. Really good jammer. Very, very quick and able to navigate through a pack. I'm interested to see how they respond for the rest of this game to keep their team in the lead.
Reckless Abandon, of course, not a new skater. I've enjoyed that uniform. I don't know if you can see it from your angle, but it says later instead of just 8, given that lead speak that everybody enjoyed about 20 years ago. We've got a full complement of skaters out there, knotted up at the pivot line, no motion anywhere, but somebody's getting a multiplayer for it. It looks like it's Irish Hills with 1 less. That's Babezilla.
Yep, and I believe that it might be Curvicious that I saw just get out of that pack right there.
Both are through the pack, and it is number 88.
Oh, excuse me, Madame Melee Curry.
Through the pack first and hitting the pack again first. Both skaters are through 4-4, and because number 12, that is Thayer the Slayer, through first and threatening to hit the pack again first, that call off is made in turn 4.
13-point game, and we have just over 9 minutes left to go in this first half.
One taking a little rest in the penalty box for Irish Hills. Mini advantage for Chem City as this one starts out.
Hit right off right out of the gates. Both jammers collide. One getting knocked to the outside, and they are trying to navigate through the pack as we speak. Coming out first, that is number 80.
380.
380. Juris Knocker.
My cheat on Juris Knocker, I've seen her skate for a very long time. She actually had a twin sister playing as well on the same team, Mini Fridge. Mini Fridge has retired now, but Juris Knocker has that brace on her left arm. That was the way you could tell between the 2 twins.
Hellcat is out and working way around the pack, but unable to catch up before this jam is called. 3 points put on the scoreboard for Chemical.
It's a different signal. That's the ring finger going down on that 3. Sometimes it's the OK, sometimes it's the 3 going sideways. Ring finger down is what we're doing here.
They like to keep us guessing.
Absolutely.
How many points is that? I don't know. Which fingers are those?
Sure. Just count them out from a distance. We'll get it. Sometimes you just turn to the scoreboard and let that be the answer. We've got all 5 skaters out in this one. They get to the pivot, and about the pivot line is where we get a breakout in this one. Usually Christy Yamaguchi still fighting against number 10.
Lala O'Rage picking up a penalty, knocking Christy Yamaguchi out of bounds. I believe that will be a forearm.
It is indeed. Oh, track cut called on Christy Yamaguchi, so we have ourselves a power jam for Irish Hills. I don't believe we have a lead jammer yet, so we can get one, and...
Oh, and there will not be a lead jammer.
In fact...
We are going to go the full 2 minutes. She just whipped that star off of her helmet.
Sometimes you just know what's going on in your immediate area.
I will take that back. They did award her that that status of lead jammer, so we're going to go ahead and go with it.
Sometimes everybody's in their own pocket of vision, so we were the ones that saw the helmet cover go off. And because we had a lead jammer, we got the call off in time. No points being scored either way. I believe Christy Yamaguchi had made it through on the initial before the track cut, so, or it would have been lead jam anyway, so no, in fact, that wouldn't have been the case, but Irish Bombshells decided to call it anyway. We've got 6 to go in this first period, 14 minutes gone. Chemical City holding to a 16-point advantage on Irish Hills. We're on Jam 10 here. A little bit of discussion going on the track right now, a little bit of a reset.
Well, they're just, I think, trying to correct the score and make sure the time is okay. And we are all set, ready to go. 5 has been called, and this jam is on.
Trying to get the inside is Irish Hills jammer, but the wall closes in, the tripod holding her inside. I believe that's Thea the Slayer again.
That is.
I saw one, and I was going to cheat on it.
Reckless Abandon now stuck still back there down the jam line, working their way up and getting knocked all around, trying to fight a way out of the pack.
And failure to reform going to the pivot this time for Chemical City.
Reckless Abandon gets out as your lead jammer.
Vex Machine sitting for Chemical City. Vex Machine, another great derby name.
She's instructing everybody to get up, but I think with that, wow, with that fast pack coming around. Oh!
Gets the call just in time. 3 points and nothing from Irish Hills.
I saw her jump through, but I believe she got knocked out of bounds, so that's why the fist is in the air from the jam ref.
Gotta love that effort, though.
Oh, yeah.
Skate until you are absolutely done on time.
Yep, until you hear those full 4 whistles blow, you're going to keep right on going. They're having a discussion over there, so they're going to take a quick official review just to kind of discuss what's going on and how everything is working out, compliment each other's, jerseys and skates. And while we do that, I would like to give a big shout out to one of our charity raffles and who it benefits. I won one of the raffles yesterday. It was a big thing of wine, so woohoo for me.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to get your organized or business or club to learn more about It's a Breast Thing, that is where all of our donations are going towards. It's a Breast Thing is a great organization, and if you are interested, please contact Joan Johnson, IBT Outreach Coordinator, for an in-person or Zoom presentation. You can reach it at 517-282-1391 or contact joanjohnson.outreach@itsabreastthing.org.
We got that swoop-de-whoop, so we're out of the official timeout. Back in it, we do have one skater in the box for Chemical City. 3-wall setting up in the brace. It's Adam Smasher holding it down on the tripod.
Oh, and a track cut being called on Madame Melee Curie, so that is going to really benefit Irish Hills right here.
Right as she was sent off the track, Velma switches into offense, trying to give some room for her jammer, but not quite through the pack. Now we get the whistle and the signal.
Hellcat is your lead jammer. They were going to go back, but the person who knocked him out picked up a penalty. I believe it was a forearm.
Yeah, Vex Machine sitting again. taking another seat, coming out after that start in the box of this jam.
Hellcat now working their way through past a couple of blockers.
Ooh, Velma leading her out of the track and leading her back to the pivot line as time is called. 3 put up on the board as time is called for Irish Hills. That's what they get out of this one.
So I got to give a big shout out right now to the outside pack ref. The jammer got knocked out of bounds with a big hit, slid right in front of him, and he did this jump to the left and scoop to the right, trying to avoid that person, and did a great job. Good heads-up play by that gen ref, or the outside pack ref, to not run over somebody.
Yeah, I wonder how much they practice that kind of obstacle course maneuvering to get out of the way of those skaters. They got to be ready for it. Monsoon of Irish Hills through the pack as we're talking about other things. Your lead jammer and Juris Noctor chasing a little bit more than a straightaway between them. Oh,
Monsoon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Monsoon taking a big hit on the outside, getting knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, that's Vex Machine sending her out.
Yeah, jam ref is going over to talk about it. They're going to see if the hips were passed, deciding on how many points, but no, fist in the air. So that's a big goose egg for that effort.
Pressure being applied also by Juris Noctor to keep no score going on that board. Timeout signaled by the pivot of Chem City.
You know, some of those I was mentioning winning the wine, woohoo! And Amore Liquor was one of the great charity raffle donators for this, and I know you folks at home are probably not here to participate, but I would suggest looking them up and supporting these great people who support Derby. Miners Din Jewelry is one of them. Kutchney Family Market, that's been the jam that we've been giving out to the MVP jammers. They donated a lot of those for us to give out during this event. Roller Bones, both the wheels and the bearings, we've been giving out. They did a lot of donations for that, along with Jean Berlin, Judy Cooper, and Jackie Daniels, all donating some great prizes for us to help this event and help raise money for It's a Breast Thing.
Yeah, thanks so much to all of our sponsors, our vendors, our NSOs, our skating officials. Very happy to have such an elevated tournament thanks to their presence. Christy Yamaguchi going into that 2-wall and through the pack. Irish Hills not able to get enough bodies out there to stop her.
And that's going to be Thea the Slayer right now. Really fast pack. She's kind of skating behind everybody, trying to figure out a way through. I'm really shocked at how fast this pack is really going.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams in this tournament opting to go faster, not bracing, but just pushing the pack along. Lansing was doing that a lot during this tournament. We'll probably see it in that first place game later.
4 points being picked up by Christy Yamaguchi. They're going to go ahead and call it off after picking up those points and holding the other team scoreless. Good maneuver, and with that, we've got a 20-point difference with 42 to 22.
And that 20 minutes goes fast. We are potentially in our last jam already for the period. Chemical City with one in the box, set up just a 3-wall, tripod being braced by Susie Seam Ripper of Chem City.
Wow, pile up in the straightaway. About 3 or 4 folks hit the deck. And with that, Reckless Abandon is out as your lead jammer for Chemical City.
Forearm being called on someone by Chem City, so if somebody exchanges positions, just a couple to try and keep Irish Hills out of scoring position, but 479, the jam is Monsoon.
This jam does come to an end, and that will likely, without a timeout being called, be the last jam for this period.
what we've learned from this other side of this event is don't count out those official reviews, but I do believe we are going to go right into our intermission. And if so, we'll see you pretty soon, probably about 10 minutes, and we'll be right back into this one. That's that whistle. Sounds like we're going. All right, we'll reset in just a little bit. The King, it's been a pleasure so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are all listening at home, go grab yourself a bag of chips, a nice cold drink, and get ready. We got a good second half that's about to come up. We got a score of 56-22, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Cool. This is the 5th place game for Division 2 between Chemical City Derby Girls and Irish Hill Bombshells. They both typically wear green, but right now Irish Hills has the green and Chem City is in the black. Chemical City has this one right now, 46-22. If you're watching the other game, I don't blame you, but thanks for switching over to us for a bit. The juniors is playing on the other side. I've watched about 5 minutes of that during the intermission. Very exciting game to watch. I'm not trying to push you over to that one. Maybe you can watch that one after this one, watch the recording of it.
You know, juniors are always fun because we were just talking about that ahead of time. It's the up-and-coming skaters that we're basically training to become our replacements.
Right.
All right, and this jam is on. Thea the Slayer out quickly as your lead jammer.
We don't currently, there we go. There's our period clock. I wonder if they're going to do a little reset on that once we get through this first jam.
And around the outside side, Thea the Slayer on their toe stops, running through turn 2 to pick up 4 points.
Thea the Slayer, the first jam out of the first period, first jam out of the second, gets the jam on both.
Vex Machine getting the star pass. They make it back around to the back of the pack. No points scored, and 4 points being picked up again by Thea the Slayer.
That's right. Irish Hills had that early advantage in the first period. Chem City shutting them down later. Irish Hills taking 8 total out of that one. That's their highest scoring jam in a bit here. Looks like jam clock and period clock are lining up now, so we're all good to go. No. Hopping out of bounds there. Thought she might have had the inside of the line. Does not, has to go back.
Yep, Monsoon. That was actually great. Christy Yamaguchi up front, working through the apex. One blocker left to beat, and they are free. Lead jammer going to Christy Yamaguchi.
Yeah, last line of defense there is Velma, as it generally is, but she knows when she has to turn around and come back to the pack. Doesn't have to be warned. She's ready.
Monsoon finally finding an exit strategy to get out as they move into turn 3.
Christy Yamaguchi opting to go right straight through the pack, and they collapse on her. She's able to swing around those hips, gets all 4 points, swinging around like maybe 2 or 3 rotations there. More of a triple axel than a roller derby move. I don't know if all of the people watching this are aware of where that name comes from. I did try to put some ice skating into it because of that name. Christy Yamaguchi, a very, what is that, 90s skater?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually just saw the biopic, kind of biopic of Tanya Harding. Really great. I don't know if you watched that as well. But yeah, Christy Yamaguchi during that period as well.
Tanya Harding, of course, from Oregon.
That's right.
Yeah. We used to go watch her skate over at the Clackamas Town Center.
That's exciting.
And then we would heckle her after the knee breaking incident.
Oh, no. You were the one portrayed in the movie.
Well, you know. Thug Life picks you. All right.
Well, that's Reckless. Later skaters, says Reckless. She's through the pack first.
And we've got a star pass. Farrell Darrell is going to take that star for Irish Hills.
Direction of game penalty going to, that's 3-3-3 from Chem City Recycler. Pack opens up a little bit more for Farrell Darrell. Cycled back there in the straightaway is Reckless.
Very tight wall in turn 3, but coming out the other side is Reckless Abandon, picking up 4 points.
That was number 85, Asher Sebastian's tightening up that wall, sending her out of bounds. Swinging back in, Asher Sebastian's bracing, able to get her out of bounds and taking her back and forcing that call off. A lot of trouble from Asher Sebastian's there, sticking with that jammer over and over again.
3 points being assessed at the end of that jam for Chemical City. That was a 7-point jam for them. Irish Bombshells came out in that first jam of the second half swinging, and I think Chemical City is responding right now to that. They really want to keep that lead and try and pull off this win.
Looking, getting getting that 5th place victory. Empty
Four-wall.
penalty box, go for it.
Yep. Oh, I was just going to say 4-wall being laid down. The jammer testing all sides, trying to find a way through that Irish Hills wall. Ooh.
Got a high block. 106 is paying for it.
Madam Melee Curie tiptoeing out. Yep, they're going to go ahead and whistle it dead. I was surprised. I thought they were going to step out of bounds, but the toe stops kept them in.
Use every part of that skate to stay in bounds. Just setting up.
Oh,
Ready to
it
go.
does looks like there is a skater down. I thought there was something that was not assessed.
Oh,
But with that, I'm over here talking about that, and a penalty being called on Monsoon. Cut call, and they're going to go to the penalty box.
and Juris Noctor is the skater you want out there if you're Chem City to take advantage of a power jam.
Another blocker down also. That was number 85 headed to the penalty box. Ashes to bashes.
Juris Noctor signals for an outside offensive maneuver. Wings back to the inside when that does not give her purchase. Again to the inside of the track. Sent down, but through the pack. 4 points go up. Each set of hips passed legally.
We are taken down and sitting down there in the apex across from us. They move into turn 4. Nice big hit to the outside. Monsoon does get out on their initial pass, and it looks like they're going to call this jam off.
Yeah, Juris Noctor talking to the jam timer for a little bit there in the center of the track instead of skating, so decides to call it instead. 3 points given the OK signal. 2 different types of threes going up. That was the OK for Chem City. They get 7 out of that one.
The other 3. Oh wait, there's no points involved.
So a 30-point separation between these two. Chemical City 64, Irish Hills Bombshells 34.
Christy Yamahuchi is out, busts through to the other side very quickly to become your lead jammer.
And Velma taking the star right out of the gate, has it. She is through the pack, half a pack.
And there's that fast pack we're talking about.
Yeah. Pivot is in the box for Irish, so she actually did start with the star.
Christy Yamahuchi going around the outside, tries to get out, calls it off. 2 points being picked up.
Bullhorns of points for the Bombshells. That's the green band there. We're waiting on the black band to signal what we've got. Looks like 0. Yeah, I see 0 points for Chem City, so a little bit of a steal on that for Velma. Like I said, Velma, no stranger to wearing that star. More a pivot these days, but one of the old seasoned veterans. I don't want to say old. I don't want to say that. A seasoned veteran for Irish Hills. Probably has been with them for the duration.
Ashes to bashes, absolute leveling that jammer when they try to come through. Reckless Abandon headed to the outside, gets knocked down over there too.
Yeah.
Ashes to bashes having no part of that jammer.
Maybe once every part of that jam.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere if it has anything to do with what their opinion is.
And Ashes to Bashes getting a hurt from 333. That is retaliation, but legal retaliation from Reckless. I'm sorry, Recycler.
4 quick points. That was a great move by Thayer the Slayer, diving through there unscathed and picks up those points.
Absolutely. And a point going up there for later Reckless.
65 to 40 is our current score as the clock keeps ticking.
So Irish Bombshells taking advantage of the last two. Didn't have lead, but has been taking a little bit back into this one. Only 25 between the two teams.
Very quick pack as we are moving right along. Madame Melee Curie, 2 blockers left to beat. They're trying to bridge it out.
bridge is successful, but broken finally. Velma has to let her go again. Oh, a cycle back. An assist by Adam Smasher to send her back.
Batamile Curie working their way through, tries to get through on the inside line. Does make it out at the top of the apex, picks up 4 points on that pass.
Points and a pass through. Velma taking that star, putting it on. And taking away that advantage on the track. Really skating fast around those corners. Turns 3 and 4, she takes away that advantage. Yes, we get an okay's amount of 3 points for Chemical City, 0 for Irish, but they hold it to just 3 on that fast skating from Velma. 32 points in advantage for Chemical City as we get to 10 minutes. So we are 3/4 of the way through this bout. Jam 8 is done. I believe we're into 9 at this point.
Penalty box is empty, so we got all 5 players out on the track. One goes in, one goes out. Both those jammers trying to find a hole to get through. Moving this pack ever so slowly forward.
A gradual inclination toward turn 1 as they are still knotted up. Vex Machine on that jammer, number 13, Hellcat. I believe that's the first time with a star for Hellcat. Hellcat now finds her own blockers. Just, hey, let me through. I want lead jam. Not able to get through first. Juris Noctur is the jam right behind his Hellcat.
It will be a foot race to the back of that pack. I have a feeling they're probably going to try to call it off or pick off a quick, easy point and call it.
This is a hit and quit scenario for sure. And they get 2 for it.
And they did. Called it in there. They got 2 points for that effort. Excellent work out there to get those points. Even better work to hold the other team scoreless.
Absolutely. Again, Juris Noctur, one of those longtime skaters for Chemical City, knows exactly when to call it off. Doesn't even need the bench to say call it. I don't know if I've even been hearing the signal. She knows what she's doing out there. Usually you'll have like a very loud bench coach shouting out when to call.
Christian Yamaguchi now working over that green wall, trying to find a way through. Stuck on that inside line, but taking him ever so slightly forward.
And the bridge starting to extend. Velma has to let her go again.
There, the Slayer stuck in the back, still trying to work their way through. Finds an opening on the inside. Both these jammers are out, but a half a pack separate the two.
Thayer saw that daylight and the skates started churning on the apex. She gets through on that burst of speed. Pack is here is where that signaled, so on turn 4 they come together again. Again, it looks like,
at the very end of that, a back block was called on Thayer the Slayer. So that is going to unfortunately put them in the penalty box and give Chemical City a power jam.
Indeed, power start for Chemical City. Looks like Reckless is lining up there. We are in the most disadvantageous spot to see who is jamming, but at this point I do believe that's going to be Reckless.
So I think what's going to happen right here is they're going to look at points. Okay, they are going to give her a couple points because she did get some points before pulling that back block. Right. So good heads-up play by the scorekeeper over here. I was going to question it, but you know, sometimes as an announcer, you just need to keep your mouth shut and let the refs do their job.
For sure. Even though we are on the stream, people will know. People will watch this later.
Yeah.
It's best to let the refs do what they do and
you know what?
Do what we do.
And this is a good ref crew right here. They're on top of it. They're doing a quick official review to make sure the points are all assessed, and they're chatting it out just to make sure they all saw the same thing.
Right. I think we all did. We all saw that. 3 points go up for Irish, and a little bit of time in the penalty box for Thayer. So what I was going to say, now that we have a little bit of a break, I noticed that Chem City has a lot of players with names that are relevant to the team name. I don't know if they're the most sort of aligned with the team rather than maybe their own personality, or maybe there's a bleeding of the two of those. But I wonder how many other teams sort of have that, like, I want you to have a name that comes into alignment with the team name. Adam Smasher, of course, and you've got Madame Curie.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a really good point. I did not think about that when I was going through and, reviewing the names with them. But yeah. Yeah, that's sometimes you go into Derby and you've got this really cool name,
Sure.
and other times people will it's kind of like when your buddies give you a nickname.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's not yours.
Yeah, I
It's
showed up
self-applied.
and all of a sudden I was just the king, and I guess that's all right. I was gonna go with something way cooler, but never mind. If that's what we're going with, I'll take it.
You can't argue with the king. If people want to call you the king,
know.
what are you going to do? I've actually had more than one Derby name. This is my first tournament with large margin. I used to be the jack of all tirades. Some people do know me as that. I've had 3 different names that I've wanted to be, but this one is sticking at the moment.
Wow, that was a quick start. Recycler jumped in there, barking orders, and unfortunately they didn't reform, so Recycler's going to head to the penalty box, but that was impressive.
Absolutely. What they wanted from her, though, she got the jam before the power start ended.
So I believe Vex Machine just jumped in there and opened it up again. Reckless abandoned out, picking up 4 points.
Quick bursts of offense from those blockers to break Reckless through twice now. And through the pack on the initial is Thayer the Slayer. Reckless looking to her side, and they do signal to give her the call off. She does call it before they are able to get into the pack again for points. So we sit with an 8-point advantage for Chemical City on that one. Just 6 minutes to go in this one now. Chem City with a possibly insurmountable double point lead on this one, 86-43. Never really want to call it officially over, but Chemical City dominating the tempo in this one.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been kind of out in front. Every time Irish takes a run at them and starts scoring, has a good jam where they rack up a lot of points. Chemical City's been quick to answer.
Absolutely. Multiplayer block going to someone. It looks like it's Chemical City's Adam Smasher.
Yeah, Adam Smasher. Christy Yamahuchi up front, pushing this back. Excuse me, Madam Melee Curry pushing this up, and it looks like a track cut is going to be called the Madam Melee Curry.
And as we were saying, Chemical City able to tighten it up, but right now they've got 3 in the box. Lots of skating room for Irish Hills. And even though they had pressure on the outside, enough room on lane 4 for 479. Monsoon for 4 points on this power jam.
All right, Velma picking up a direction of play penalty. That's going to send them to the penalty box. Offense coming from the outside, and that quickly Monsoon gets through, picking up another 4.
Patches O'Houlihan allowing her to get through on the outside of turn 1. Are you laughing at the name?
Yeah. I had to ask. I said, I know what that name is, and someone's like, dodgeball. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you can dodge a wrench.
Yes, indeed.
And forced to call it off. The shoulders.
You're not the lead, so she can't stop it.
Yeah.
You were going the full 2 minutes here.
Lumbar Lunatic giving her the need to call it off. The shoulders of Lumbar, the captain for Chemical City, really frustrating. And through the pack now. That's initial pass.
Yep. Monsoon is out and perfectly runs through, picks up another 4 points on that. That should be 12 so far in this jam. This jam comes to an end.
Absolutely. So we'll see how Chemical City responds to a little lapse in judgment from their skaters. Tend to tighten it up after 1 or 2 jams, but that is a big advantage for Irish Hills. They might have only gotten 8 on that.
Yeah,
one.
I think they did.
It is still, oh, there it is.
Okay.
We have it. 31-point advantage for Chemical City as we start our 13th jam with 3 and 0 to go. I did that yesterday, so I'm subjecting the listeners to it again. 3 and 30 to go in this bout.
Very tight walls being set down. Walls are being pushed forward, and just like that, Number 380, Juris Knocker, is out first as your lead jammer. Farrell Darrell's taking that star as a pass and is off to the races trying to get back into that pack.
There it is.
Chemical City calling off this jam before Farrell Darrell can get back in there and score any points.
Now, I don't know if it's because the team didn't come this time, but there used to be 2 jammers with law degree type names that would sometimes face off against each other. So you do all kinds of like objection, overrule type calls when they're going through. But only Juris Noctur is in this tournament. I believe the other one was Legally Blonde. I don't know if their team came this time around, but kind of miss all of those silly CSI related jokes that you can make. We are back in it. Chrissy Yamaguchi forced out on turn 1, and Velma not finding anybody resisting her. She draws back Chrissy Yamaguchi to the straightaway.
And up front, Crimson Fury, first time with a jammer cap on, trying to fight their way through.
Chrissy Yamaguchi finds Velma flat-footed there, and through the pack she goes. Lead jam is to Chemical City again. See if they can knock on the door of 100. They're getting close, and 4 points of it in the air. Oh, Velma giving her a shove.
Yep.
But she gets low enough to absorb the blow. She gets through that pack.
That's the key. If you're
Absolutely.
lower than your opponent, you can normally take those hits, shrug it off, and keep moving.
And she is already a little lower to the ground from Velma. Velma gets lower than those shoulders. She's through it. I would not like to take a hit from Velma. I will just put that out there, and I'm a tall person, so I would be knocked off my axis pretty easily.
Velma taking the star, and quickly they call off this jam. 4 more points being picked up by Chrissy Yamaguchi. Timeout being called by Irish Hills, and I think they're just trying to stop the clock and figure out what to do with this deficit.
Yeah.
Put some more points on the board and hope for the best. We have a minute and, well, they're putting time back up on there. Minute and 6 seconds now left.
Yeah, it's Chemical City at 98, Irish Hills at 55. Sometimes, I don't know if everybody who's following along at home knows about the score differential being a really big deal in Derby. It depends what you're going to be on your next time in a tournament like this. It also depends on where you're going to be in your regular season next season.
Well,
Go ahead.
an interesting point that you're bringing up. You can actually lose a game,
Right.
but if you beat the point spread and I mean maybe you have a tight game, you can move up in rankings even with a loss. It's
Right.
definitely something to pay attention to.
Absolutely, and that's what keeps a lot of these games competitive all the way to the end, even if it doesn't look that way from the score. Everybody's skating all the way to the end as hard as they can. Irish Hills trying to get as many points out of this potentially last jam.
Nice little move outside to in, and the jammers engage. Chemical City trying to work through the turn number 1, and that is going to be Madame Melee Curie pushing things forward. 1 player, 2 players left to beat. Excellent defense by Irish Hills. Finally in the further straightaway between 2 and 3, Madame Melee Curie does get out.
Yeah, and Irish Hills opting to have offense in that, so they only had 3, and Farrell Darrell was back in offense helping out.
Thayer Slayer is out with jam cap in hand, slaps that thing back on the helmet, and they're going to keep going.
Yeah, Chemical City controlling this one. Does at least get 3, just getting to Velma there, gets the full 4, and we break 100 as this one is going out of regulation time. And there is through as well. 4 go up on both. Looks like we might just run this for a bit. Nope, we go out of period time. We are done.
Yeah, that's good control of clock management right there.
Absolutely.
Just run it down to the base, call it off, and you're done. So we have an unofficial final right now, 102 to 59. Chemical City taking care of business here, and it was a good game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fun. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been the Large Margin.
And I'm the King. I do appreciate everybody's time today. You guys all have a great day.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.